Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Sports Desk Live here on YouTube. Of course, we're back with the weekly installment of the Jacksonville Jaguars weekly matchup show with Mr. Move Them Chains. I am merely a moderator, but I am one third of your sportsologist, Dedrick L. Hicks Jr., here to contribute to the conversation of the hometown Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yes, sir. And I'm Mr. Move Them Chains. I'm Move Them Chains again this week, y'all. They won last week, so I ain't as mad with them. But
Right.
yeah, welcome back, y'all. We gonna have a good show today. I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited to see how this team respond this second week in London.
Absolutely. So as always, before we get started, we appreciate you guys taking the time to check out this show, to check out anything on the Sports Desk Live here on YouTube. So if you have not already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up, spread the word. There's a new sports brand out here in the YouTube world. We're not brand new because we come from the podcast world, but we're going to be building our brand and providing much more content as we move along. So show us some support, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell. You'll be notified every single time some new content of the Sports Desk Live drops. All right, Rashad, let's go ahead and get into it. Is this the first time ever a team has had back-to-back games in London?
First time ever.
First time
Jacksonville
ever.
was the first team to continue to go over there, and now they're the first team to go over there back-to-back weeks. Although they're not the home team this week, but yeah.
Oh, that was my next question. Did they lose 2 home games or just the one?
No, just one home game. This is the Buffalo Bills home game.
Okay, 10-4. And speaking of the Buffalo Bills, they're one of the hotter teams in the National Football League. And this is the test that I think the Jaguars definitely need. But before we get into that, man, of course, we're going to get into last week's recap of the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Atlanta Falcons, where the Jaguars indeed got out the schneid, winning that game. What was it? 23-7. So what we got going on with that, Rashad?
Yeah, so I mean, it was just a good game. Overall, the defense is proven to be who we didn't think they could be this year. The roles are reversed. Some kind of way that the defense has been dominant and the offense is not. But I'm looking forward to at some point that marrying up. But the defense has just been the defense. This is the standard at this point. This is who they are. Created a couple of turnovers. Had a pick six. Josh Allen had 3 sacks.
Yeah.
They pretty much contained the running back.
Bijan.
Bijan. They pretty much contained him the whole game, and that was one of the keys last week. And that's what they did. Trevor did just enough. You know, ETN. The line was horrible last week. It was no run lanes at all. But they did just enough to win the game. So you know you can't complain about wins at this point.
23-7 win in the NFL is a pretty convincing win. We saw the week before the Houston Texans come in and blow the Jaguars out by 20-25 points at home. So if an NFL team can get a win like the Jaguars got on Sunday, that's something that you can build on. But if you watch the game and you're really invested into the Jacksonville Jaguars, you do see that we still have some things that we have to clean up on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, masterful performance by the defense. I really love how they have come together and they are playing for one another, and they look like they get it on every angle what needs to be done. Of course, on the offensive side of the ball, another week for Trevor Lawrence numbers, 23 for 30, 207 yards, and 1 touchdown. When you look at that line, you're going to be like, wow, okay, Trevor's been balling all year, but the inconsistencies are still there. Last week, out of any game that I saw so far, Rashad, this year, like you just stated, the offensive line is atrocious. Now, help is on the way this week, and we'll get to that in a second. But I think the line was – I went back and I watched. You know, Rashad and I, we go back and watch clips and interviews. And the one thing that I saw, and I'll be interested to hear if you saw this as well, Rashad, the offensive line can – really controlled the rhythm or the non-rhythm of the offense last week. NTN had 20-plus touches last week. For 55 yards. 57 yards, rushing 2.8 a clip. That is horrible. Tank Bigsby only touched the ball 3 times. Would like to see Tank touch the ball just a little bit more. But offensive line, I think they were kind of the reason why the offense was held back last week. Of course, missing Zay Jones is always going to be something. But what do you think?
Yeah, I think the offensive line has been the problem the whole year, and I think it's the reason why Trevor hasn't been able to get comfortable back there.
Okay.
I'm not making excuses for him. I need him to play better. I want him to play better. I need him to play better. I need him to be a top 5 quarterback in this league so that this team can reach the heights that I think they can reach. So I'm not making excuses for him. Joe Burrow has had problems with his offensive line his whole career. He's been to a Super Bowl and he's been to back-to-back AFC Championship games.
Okay,
it is
fair.
what it is. Suck it up. Make it happen. You got the weapons.
Okay.
You have everything else around you. You got Doug Peterson. Make the plays.
That's fair.
Having said that, that offensive line has been awful.
Man.
And it's been the guard spots.
Man.
Sheriff has been awful. He has not played well. I know he's battling injuries.
I'm about to say, do you think it's that high ankle sprain? Do you think it's that high ankle sprain?
I don't know, because last year, even though he was battling injuries, he still wasn't the all-pro level guard that we signed him to be.
Okay.
So he's having these problems. He's got a rookie tackle on his side, so maybe he's trying to babysit him. I don't know. But whatever is going on, there were questions about Fortner and his legitimacy as a starting center in this league. Doug Peterson shut that down, but I don't know. Whatever it is, I am hoping that Cam Robinson coming back and moving Walker Little to left guard is going to solve the problems of that offensive line, because it's affecting Trevor Lawrence. It is.
Yeah. I think we're going to see some improvement there. I don't know how matter of fact it's going to be. Let's call it what it is. I mean, Cam's missed 4 games. Okay.
Yeah.
He hasn't played. The timing has to come from somewhere. He doesn't have it right now. So I think just with his presence, of course, you're going to get a better representation of an offensive line, but it is going to take time. And what a task that this offensive line has with the Buffalo Bills on this Sunday. So, we'll see. But I think overall, you got the win.
Yeah.
At the end of the year, this could be a critical win to kind of position the Jaguars for some type of positioning in the playoff bracket, or even the division, or whatever, So you got the win, and you just got to find a way to keep building them up. All right, let's go ahead and transition to this week's game in London. 9:30 a.m. kick. Jacksonville Jaguars, Buffalo Bills. Let's get to Rashad. Key matchup on offense.
The Buffalo Bills have been playing really good ball since that Jets game, right?
Yes, they have.
But they have the worst run defense in the NFL. They're giving up 6 yards a pop on defense. I don't know if that's a fact that they've been blowing people out to the point where, their big runs have been coming in the first half, and they really haven't been able to run that much. So maybe the numbers are a little skewed because there is not as many carries or attempts on them.
Okay.
But they're giving up 6 yards a carry, and that's big. They don't really have a lot of super big defensive linemen, so they can be run on.
Okay.
But Tank Bigsby, Travis Etienne in this game, the biggest. I mean, they are going to control the tempo of this game and open up everything for this offensive line to be able to not have to be on their heels so much. And pass block. If you're getting to a run blocking rhythm, you can make anything happen on your offense. Everything starts with the run. It's basic football. And especially for this team, with the way the offensive line has been struggling, the way you help them is by running the football, because they can go forward and not backwards.
Right.
So it's always easy as an offensive lineman to go forward and not backwards. And if you can establish the run in this game, you can really control the pace of this game, which is you gotta try and finish these drives off, and control the clock with your run game. So if we can do that, it gives us a way better chance in this game.
Yeah, I think you hit it on the head. I don't know if the amount of running plays that are being ran on the Buffalo defensive line is a direct depiction of the 6.5 carries. I mean, who they played so far this year. They opened up with the Jets. What running backs? It was really a running back field game, even though Robinson and what's my man with the Achilles last year, the ACL last year.
Shoot, I know you're talking about.
He went crazy on them, and then they, going into the week after that against the Vegas, Jacobs didn't really do much, and then Washington really didn't do much, and then Miami really didn't do much. So I guess the scheming maybe, but we'll see a little bit more of that when they play Jacksonville. So I do feel you on this. I want to see Tank Bigsby get the ball. I want to see him get. I want to see him get the ball in more spots that are suited for him. Right. I don't know if these coaches go back to when these kids were in college. I saw it last night on Thursday Night Football with Justin Fields. Somebody went back and looked at that Ohio State offense that he was running. Somebody went back and looked at that. Justin Fields was rolling out left, ball down the field. He was rolling out right, dumping it down in the bucket, and somebody getting up the field. I saw a different Chicago Bears offense last night. Somebody needs to go pull some tape on Tank Bigsby if they have not already and see how was he so effective at Auburn, especially be a third-round pick at the running back position. So NTN, I think he's just going to have his NTN game. I don't want to see 20 attempts for 55 yards this week. No. Don't want to see that. The Jaguars got to get at least 5 yards a carry here, no less than 4.5 a clip, because we know what the run game does for the Jacksonville Jaguars offense. It sets up the pass. Doug Peterson and his offensive coaching staff and his offensive brain trust, they have told us as Jacksonville Jaguars fans and football fans, we are a low you to sleep offense, and then we're going to catch you over the top or catch you big across the middle. That's what they told us. Yeah. So if that's going to be the case, yes, the Jaguars, NTN, Bigsby, the offensive line, they have to create some momentum so Trevor can get in his – I watched it. I watched the footage. 2nd and 6, Jaguars are going to go up the field. 3rd and 3, the Jaguars might take a shot up the field. So when you are seeing those yards and downs on the screen, start to look out for that, and that's going to be a great depiction that the running game is starting to do something. So I definitely agree with you on that. Hopefully the running game can get going for sure.
Yeah, you got to do that because your offense has been so out of rhythm. I think if you can establish the run in this game, it'll get your offense back in rhythm because it'll get them on their heels. And the main thing, again, we said this last week, get a damn lead again. The way this defense is playing, they have only played with a lead a couple of times, and they still been an elite defense this year. I'm reluctant to call them an elite defense because of what my expectations of them were when I came into the season. But they've been playing like an elite defense, and they turn you over. So
top 5.
Hey man, hey, D said it.
I'm
not ready to say it yet.
As a unit, man. As a unit, why not? Why aren't you?
You can't argue with it.
Well, why aren't you ready to say it? As where we are at this point in the season, why not, Rashad? We're 5 games in. We're 4 games in. As a unit, I'm not talking about your pass rushers overseeing your secondary. I'm not talking about your ball hawks versus your weak. I'm talking about as a unit. They're playing one of the best in the league. They just are.
They're playing good. I'm just scared. I don't want to jinx this thing. I'm gonna let these boys keep riding out because that's not what I expected. But if they got to carry me to victories until I get my offense back online, then fine.
But he threw me under the bus real decent, y'all, didn't he? D said it, not me.
Hey man, D said it, not me. Hey y'all, OVOD on Twitter. So listen, but you got to get a lead, man. You got to get a lead so that you can try to get into a rhythm and stay in a rhythm on your offense. You got one of the worst third down offensive rates in the league. Because you're steady in 3rd and 8s, 3rd and 7s, 3rd and 12s.
Yeah.
That's the kind of third down. You haven't been in 3rd and manageable. Yeah. You haven't. Because you can't, because your offensive line has not been able to get you where you need to get. So get down the field, get in the red zone and punching into the end zone. Get these leads so that we can stay on schedule.
Right.
And we did it last week. It was ugly on offense, but we still did it. We still were able to move the ball down the field and once we got a lead, the defense was different.
Right.
Like I say, 3 sacks for Josh Allen, a sack for Trayvon Walker, 2 picks. you've seen the defense start being able to feed off of that. So as an offense, you have got to get a lead.
Mm-hmm.
So
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Key matchup on defense. A player who I think has been either the first or second best player that's been on this defense this year, and that's Andre Cisco.
Yeah.
Cisco has been balling, and in order for this defense to slow down Josh Allen, Andre Cisco has got to be playing at an even better level than what he's been playing the first month of the season.
Yeah.
Because the explosive plays will kill you. And he himself can erase those explosive plays. The one thing that I know Josh Allen is patient. He's never been patient. He does not like the word patience. If you force him to be patient, he's going to give you the ball because he feels like he can make every throw, and I feel like he can make every throw.
Yeah.
But when Cisco's on the field, he doesn't feel like he can make every throw. He's going to make him pay for those. Catch these picks. I've seen Andre Cisco drop picks before. Can't have those drop picks this week. If he gives it to you, you got to take advantage of it. Andre Cisco against Josh Allen, key matchup on defense this week.
I'm very, very interested to see the Jaguars. I think this is the best offense they've played all year.
Yes, no doubt.
Especially with the momentum coming into this game that the Buffalo Bills have. No disrespect to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, but we got to call it what it was. They were not what they are now. They are not what they are now when they play Jacksonville. Buffalo is really clicking. This offense is dangerous. And for the Jaguars, and I'm calling it as a unit, they've played top 5 defensive football thus far this year. This is going to be something to kind of verify that for the Jacksonville Jaguars faithful. Do we have a top 5 defense? Or was it a lot of fluff until you felt some real firepower? Here's the thing. Can they get pressure on Josh Allen? Can the pass rushers be called upon? Allen and my kid out of Georgia, Trayvon Walker, can they expand and grow the field and bring speed to the outside while he could be contained in the middle if he has to rush up the field? Can Cisco and Jenkins and Campbell, can they stick to the assignment? Don't let Diggs get behind you. They're running Kincaid. He is running beautifully across the field. Seems like nobody wants to guard Kincaid this far this year, of the rookie tight end for the Buffalo Bills. So, look, this is going to be the biggest test for them.
Yeah.
All that being said, I think if they can rely on what they've done so far, they've played a really, really sound football. They've tackled this year. They've given up a couple of big plays here and there. Okay, so what? It's the NFL. You're not going to be able to stop everybody on every drive. But for the majority of this thing, I think this Jacksonville Jaguars defense, they're a little bit better than bend but don't break. I just think that they are. And I think up front, this is a great game for Walker and a great game for Allen to really push and get some pressure on Josh Allen so he can throw that erratic interception. So he can try to do some dances back there and lose -6 or -10 yards and put them in a long third down, 3rd and 20, 3rd and 15 type of situation. Then you can let your hair back because you know they're going to pass the football, and that's where Cisco and Jenkins and Campbell can come into play and possibly get a big-time turnover. So I'm very interested to see how this matchup is going to look on the field. This is the Jaguars' defense biggest test thus far, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Biggest test thus far. But D, I do want to say, I think more of a point than Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker. Foley Fatukasi got to have a big game this week.
He does.
Foley Fatukasi and Roy Robertson Harris, the 2 defensive tackles.
Well, he's questionable right now. He's questionable.
Who?
Foley Fatukasi.
I didn't know Fatukasi had an injury. Well, he got injured in the preseason. Maybe this is just something. I mean, he's played in every game. So
he's on the injury report with a shoulder.
Okay, that's the same thing. He's gonna play. I'm not worried about that. I'm hoping that he's healthy enough to play. But both of those guys got to have big games because the pressure up the middle of any quarterback is always a death sentence for any of them. They don't want pressure in their face. They can step back and avoid pressure on the outside. But if that pressure is coming from the inside, that's when the outside guys eat. So, being able to stop the run, Cooks has had a good year. Cook has had a good year.
Yeah.
Running the ball. They've been running the ball more. This hasn't been just a Josh Allen offense.
Right.
They've been running the ball a lot this year, a lot more than what they usually have. So you got to be able to stop the run too. So that front is gonna be big, but you gotta stop. You gotta have Andre Cisco doing this thing. So, overall feel for this game. Listen, if the Jaguars don't run the ball and control the clock, they have no chance. I don't think that you can keep this offense, keep the Bills offense on the field and your defense out there and just expect them to over and over and over stop them. If you're not scoring points on offense, if you're not making them chase you, that's the thing. You got to make Josh Allen chase you because, like I said, he's not patient. In the game where we played them here 2 years ago, you can tell that he was pressing. He wanted to make something happen. But the type of defense that Jacksonville plays is one of those bend but don't break defenses that makes you patient. And if you're not, that's why we've only given up like 2 or 3 deep balls this entire year. Right. Because you're going to have to be patient with this defense.
Right.
And that's not what he likes. So if you're making it twofold, making it where you're going down the field on 14 play drives, controlling the clock and scoring. And then you stop him on the D, and then you get the ball back and you do that again. And somehow you get up by 10 or 14. Now you're forcing him to be the Josh Allen, the bad Josh Allen. Right. Like he was before, throwing the turnover. So we got to get to that point. What can keep you in trouble? Like I said, if you're allowing Cook to run the ball, that's gonna get you in trouble. If you're having those miscommunications that we've had in the past, that's gonna get you in trouble. Third down efficiency on both sides of the ball. You got to get them off the field on third down, and you got to convert third down. The Jaguars have been awful on third down.
Yes, they have.
They've been awful.
Terrible. Probably worse than the league.
I think they're the worst in the league on third down.
Yeah.
On offense. So those are the things that you just can't have. The big plays, they're going to kill you. That's why my key on defense was Andre Cisco, because I believe that he can be the eraser back there. He's going to be the one to make Josh Allen pull that ball down when he want to take that big shot to Diggs.
Yeah.
Another thing too now, Williams is a smaller corner.
He is.
We already know that Campbell is going to be on Diggs. Well, that means Williams is going to be on Davis, and Davis is one of their taller. He's a big receiver.
Yep.
So I'm hoping that they're shading things to his side and just allowing Campbell to just stick Diggs, because that's going to be a matchup that he's going to want to take advantage of. And if it's going to be a matchup he can, because it's just a height difference, and if he's throwing that ball up there, Williams is athletic, but we talk about God-gifted athletes at this point. Yeah. So being able to do that, like I said, if you have a good game plan, if you're saying to yourself, listen, nothing over the top, keep them on the field.
Right.
We're going to be fine.
I'm worried about the Buffalo Bills receivers against the Jacksonville Jaguars secondary for the reason that you just stated. Campbell, he can't guard everybody. He can't defend everybody. And Gabe Davis, we have seen him have his days on an NFL football field. And I think the recipe is there unless, as I stated earlier, pressure. Can Allen and can Walker create havoc? I be butchering your name, bro.
Foley Fatukasi. Foley Fatukasi.
Okay, Mr. Foley. Mr. Foley as well. Can they create havoc up front so Josh doesn't have the time to see the play develop? So Josh doesn't have the time to get on that bootleg and rocket that ball up the field. He probably has the strongest arm in all of football. He flicks the wrist and is out of the stadium. So that's going to be the key thing. Can the Jaguars get up front? Because if they don't, If they don't, Josh Allen's going to throw for 3 or 350. He's going to do that because the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to be just trying to defend. The secondary is trying to defend so long that they're just going to lose coverage. And if you lose coverage, that's when Diggs gets you. That's when Davis gets you. That's when Kincaid gets you. I think Knox is going to make it back from injury for them as well. They just got people running all over the place. And henceforth, again, huge matchup here for the Jacksonville Jaguars. But I'm going to believe in this front up front. I think this is a game for this defensive front seven for the Jaguars to know the assignment. And the assignment is to make Josh Allen uncomfortable, make him impatient, just like Rashad said, and see if we can get some key turnovers. And most importantly, the theme of the year on this show, tackle. That's what it is.
You gotta tackle. Coaching advantage in this game. Listen, Sean McDermott has been coaching better than Doug Peterson this year. Period. He has. He had one bad game. And I believe Doug Peterson has had 4. I have not liked the way Doug has handled this season.
Yeah.
Do I feel like overall Doug Peterson is a better coach than Sean McDermott? He has a ring. But this year, McDermott's out coaching him. He's got his team playing well on both sides of the ball. So you have to say in this game to this point of 2023 that Sean McDermott is a better coach than Doug Peterson.
I think the coaching matchup on paper, when you see it, it could be even to me because both of these men have exceptional skill sets. McDermott on the defensive side of the ball, and then obviously Doug Peterson on the offensive side of the ball. So, but I'm going to roll what you said. I think Doug McDermott just kind of has the advantage right now. I mean, look at the Buffalo Bills and look at the Jaguars. The Buffalo Bills are arguably playing the best ball in all of football.
Yeah,
all of football right now going into week 5. What they did to the Miami Dolphins last week was, hey, don't forget about us and pay attention to what's going on up here in Buffalo, New York. So I'm gonna give the slight edge to Coach Doug this week because he has his team clicking on all cylinders: offense, defense, and special teams. So, not to say that Doug Peterson can say to himself, you know what, man? All right, it's time. All right. Let's go ahead and kind of do this and do that or do that and third. But in the NFL, it just doesn't go like that. You kind of show who you are, and it's been 4 weeks. And until we see otherwise, I gotta believe that this is who the Jaguars offense is. This is who it is. And you're going up against one of the better defenses of football and defensive minds. I think Trevor's going to have them a tough time at points on this game. But I also believe that they're going to have their opportunities. And that's the thing. When you get your opportunities, can you cash in? Can you cash in the opportunities? And that's going to be something that we're all going to be waiting to see. But I'm going to give a slight advantage to Doug McDermott going into this week.
Yeah, I don't think that's anything that anybody would disagree with. One of the things that I have written down on my paper, Trevor, let it fly. Don't wait to see if you feel like it's gonna be open. Pull the trigger.
Yeah.
He only has 2 picks this year, and one of them is his fault. And I believe that's only because he's been safe with the ball. I don't need safe Trevor this week. You need to trust yourself and trust your receivers and let it fly. You go probably have all your weapons back. Zay Jones is gonna be back.
Okay, good. You know he's not on the injury report, so that's good.
Yeah, Zay Jones is gonna be back. So you're gonna have all your weaponry. Everybody who you want on offense, your backs, your receivers, your left tackles back. So let it fly, Trevor. One thing we forgot to mention, D.
Okay.
There's another person in the league. His name is Dat Boy too. He's the Dat Boy on defense, and his name is Von Miller. He might be back this week.
He might be.
And
he might be.
I'm hoping that he's a little rusty, because it's going to be his first game in a year. But we still talking about one of the all-time greatest rushers of the quarterback.
All-time greats, yes.
This is something he does in his sleep. This is like riding a bike. So I'm hoping that both of them being, coming back off, one of them coming off an injury, one of them coming off suspension, and Cam Robinson and Von Miller, that they cancel each other out. But go get nervous when it's 3rd and 8 in the fourth quarter and Von Miller's on one of those sides. So that's one thing we forgot to mention.
Well,
go ahead.
He's still showing as doubtful.
Doubtful
Going into this game. So
okay.
doubtful isn't good on a Friday.
It's not good on a Friday. It's
So
good
we'll
for me
see.
on a Friday.
It's good for yes. But as of right now, they have the Jaguars. Well, not the Jaguars, excuse me, Von Miller. He is. Well, excuse me. They updated this article just a little bit ago, literally while I'm doing the show 5 seconds ago on YahooSports.com. They're reporting that Von Miller has quoted that he is 95% sure that he will play against the Jacksonville Jaguars. So there you have it, man. According to from the Jaguars wire, out of the mouth of Von Miller, that he is a 95% chance that he will play against the Jacksonville Jaguars. So there you have it, guys.
Hopefully his reps are limited because he can't play. But we seen earlier this year where I think Chris Jones had 2 sacks and his reps were limited. When you're great, you're great.
You're great. So, that's what I was just about to say. When you're great,
you're
great, bro.
Yeah, when you're great, you're great. He'll hopefully it doesn't happen, but he'll come up in a big situation when you least need him to. And hopefully we're prepared for that. But score prediction, D. This one has been tough for me because I've been wanting to go with my heart all week. But I can't. I've been watching the Buffalo Bills and I've been watching my team. This just kind of has 27-21 all over it, 24-31 all over it. Bills. I just don't know if you're going to be able to be consistent enough on offense. I haven't seen it. Be consistent enough on offense to be able to exploit everything. They have problems in their secondary, D.
They do.
But we just seen they just played the Houston Texans, and that didn't matter. So I have no reference point to say that the Jaguars can take advantage of anything on offense. The defense is going to be the defense, but it comes a point where they break. And that's what happened when they played Houston. So, and when they played the Chiefs for that matter. So,
okay.
31-24 official score prediction, Buffalo Bills for me.
I've been seeing this happen far too many times. When the level of competition is raised, when the level of difficulty is there, for some reason, this Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence-led team, they get that extra oomph in their backs. The batteries are supercharged, and they are going to go forward. I was in the stadium when my Dallas Cowboys came down, and it looked like the game was in hand, and it's like something happened. And the Jacksonville Jaguars on offense and defense just said, no, we're talented too. We're not going away too. You're one of the best in the league, so we were going to show you. Jaguars get the win. Turn it around. It is playoff time down here in the Bay. We were there inside of the stadium. The Chargers were up big. You guys know the story. And then Doug and Trevor and the defense, they just said, no, we're good too. We're not going to go out like this. They come back and they get the win. This is another game like this. The Jaguars have been hearing all week long, Buffalo. Did you see what they did to the Dolphins? Did you see what they did to Tua? Did you see what they did this? They've been hearing it all week long. I think the Buffalo Bills get up on the Jaguars early. I think the game looks like it could get out of hand in the second quarter. But then I think they do what they always do in these type of games. I think the Jaguars make a comeback. I think it gets late in the fourth quarter. I think Doug says, you know what? I got these 2 drives and calls the plays in those moments. And I think Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars get out of there with a high-scoring win. I'm going to take the Jaguars 33 and the Buffalo Bills 30 in a highly entertaining, highly fun, head-scratching, heart-pounding, headache type of a game. The Jaguars get out of there with the win to improve to 3-2, and I think they beat the Buffalo Bills full of drama. I want to make sure I emphasize that. full of drama. Those people out there in London are going to get a great game.
D, I can only hope that you telling that what you saying is the truth. I'm hoping that if some kind of way that we do get down in this game that they're able to come back, but that offense is super explosive, man. That's an explosive offense. That's a scary thing. That what you just said, to get down against that offense, that's scary to me.
Yeah.
But if we can come back and win this game, I'm gonna come back on this on the Jaguars matchup show and tell you I was wrong.
We've seen it
You
before,
know, like
right?
I was wrong last week. So
we've seen it before, right?
Yeah, we've seen it before.
Several times, right?
Yeah, several times.
Matter of fact, we saw it 2 times in 4 weeks just a couple months ago.
2 times in 4 weeks just a couple months ago.
So we're gonna see what happens, man. So again, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Buffalo Bills, 9:30 kick over in London this Sunday morning. Make sure you get up and have your tea and your coffee, make your little breakfast, or drink you a little bit of that juicy juice, whatever you want to do. First thing in the morning, Chitio, whatever they say over there. That's what we got going on. But before we get you out of here, man, let's try to see if we can win some money with the Sports Desk. All right. So if you're on FanDuel, MGM Grand, Prize Picks, Bet Online, Bravado, whatever you play, this is a game right here that, you know, hey, this could be something that you want to look into. All right, man, let's go ahead and go to the point spread of this game. The Buffalo Bills are favored by 5.5 points up against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Rashad, how do you feel about that line? If you're a betting man, you taking the 5.5 for the Buffalo Bills to win, or do the Jaguars get to cover that 5.5?
I just said they cover, so I'm gonna go with that. They cover.
Buffalo Bills cover 5.5?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's go to the overall points on this game. They got it set pretty high here. You got 48.5 points, all right, between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Buffalo Bills. With the scores that we both gave, I think this goes over. I think this goes over. So, 48.5, take the over. On my point spread, I'm gonna take the Jaguars plus 5.5. I'm gonna take the Jaguars plus 5.5. I would stay away from anything money line. You got the Buffalo Bills at 250, but if you want to make you some money, put a couple dollars down. They got the Jaguars plus 200 on the underdog roll.
Oh,
wow. If you hit that, man, you could cash out on something pretty decent, man. So that's that. Those are the odds on Yahoo Sports according to MGM Grand out there in Las Vegas. All right. So again, hey, we're going to see what happens. Jaguars, Bills, pretty critical game for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Another opportunity to get their respect. We came in hot and heavy on the expectations train this year, but the media and social media and everything around has really toned down on the Jaguars. The radio volume has been toned down, and the only screaming and sounds that you hear is from us down here in Jacksonville, Duval County, Florida. All right, Rashad, anything before we wrap up, man?
I think that this game is critical as hell for the Jaguars early in the season. I think from a confidence and morale standpoint, you've had games against 2 opponents that were games that you thought that you would win, and you've had 2 games. This will be your second game against an opponent that you feel like that you should have beaten. I mean, that should beat you, but you feel like you're on that same level. You want to make sure that you put out a good outing against this game, hopefully win. But you can't get blown out because now your confidence is shot. This team thought at the beginning of the season that they were a contender. And if they lose to 2 contenders and they're only beating these lesser opponents, it starts to creep in your head that maybe we're not as good as what we think we are. So we got to put out a good outing for the morale of this team.
Absolutely. All right, man. So thank y'all again for watching, man. This has been the Week 5 edition of the weekly Jacksonville Jaguars matchup show with Mr. Moodham Chains. Again, if you are watching, show us some love. All right, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. Any questions that y'all guys have, ask them. We'll answer them next week or every week. Ask your questions, though. If you agree, if you disagree, we don't care. Put it down in the comments. We would love to talk about it on these shows that we're having throughout the entire NFL season and hopefully the postseason as well with these Jacksonville Jaguars. So once again, I'm your guy, Dedrick L. Hicks Jr., 1/3 of your sportsologist, signing off.
Yes, sir. And I'm moving them chains, man. Go Jags. Let's get this win. Oh, y'all
Go
prove me wrong, man.
Jags.
Yes,
Go
sir.
Jags. Do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.